Hello, myself Sunil Ramakrishna. Here basically we are discussing another topic, that is investment basically of the textbook. So one person told that from satellite. So do you know basically Earth planet basically is getting power supply from satellite. So if they will stop the power supply, then basically Earth planet will get into big trouble. Basically. That is one thing. That basically normal thing, because Bollywood group basically has displayed lots of movies also for this power supply. So here basically this whole thing basically public knows of the power supply, main power supply, that some movie basically says. So here that is not the topic. So here one person told that California is the land basically of the 1 lakh kilometer area which is getting the power supply of computer software basically. So from that area the power supply is coming for the computer. So one person told that the ideas basically which you are getting basically, that is equal to power supply. One person basically created the computer, one person created the software, so that all our ideas, right, basically. So that is basically coming in the form of power supply. That is 100% sure. So 1 lakh kilometer is the California land area from where basically the power supply is coming for the computers for entire world basically. So entire world basically is getting power supply from California land for computer basically, for software. So it's a special power supply which our planet software company industry are getting. So that basically everybody knows. So here one person told that Microsoft power supply, PHP power supply, because Microsoft Apple is there, PHP Apple is also there, SAP Apple is also there, SAP Potato is there, SAP Capsicum is there, SAP Onion is there, SAP Chili is there, SAP Water is there. So if they are creating these all softwares basically, so they basically require the exact power supply that basically they are getting from that 1 lakh kilometer area. So one person basically asked the question: is the 1 lakh kilometer area is divided basically for Microsoft this much land, for SAP this much land, PHP के लिए इतना land, then for C++ this much, Java this much? Is that divided? 100%. They might be divided, na? Because if you are separating Microsoft Apple, SAP Apple, that means it's divided, right? That means it's divided. So here basically one person asked the question in previous video basically we have displayed that for text box basically this many human needs are created, and these all are the human needs basically, list of counts basically the human needs basically which are created, that basically we have already listed basically the human needs, and these all are the human needs like this, from text box this many human needs, combo box this many human needs, list box this many human needs, combo box this many human needs. The human needs are created. So one person asked the question: the text box basically have some legal authority also. Combo box basically have some legal authority. That also basically might be created by set of groups. That also basically is the normal stuff basically. That basically everybody knows how the legal department works. Before, for example, one new section is going to come, that preparation basically happens in more than 30 years before basically. For example, today some section basically came and they launched, the legal department launched the section, so that basically might have planned long before basically. It might be planned in 1995 90s. So the plan basically might have started from 1990s. That means if any section is going to implement, that means it will implement 100%. Why? Otherwise basically 30 years basically the investment basically who is going to give basically? That basically is going to be asked by the departments basically. So you have to give the answer basically. That's why basically the whatever the rule is going to implement, that will implement 100% basically. That means the textbooks which was decided and which was legally done, in that basically the court department, high court was there, supreme court was there, they basically was not able to track this. Or basically they also told that basically अरे जाने दो यार अपने को क्या है, let basically space group die, let the universe group die, we basically will think of earth planet. It might possible that supreme court, high court also basically, because high court basically never comes into the picture, but high courts are connected with all supreme courts only, sorry, high supreme courts are connected with all high courts. So whatever high courts data basically are given to the supreme court, that basically they take the data. It's not like that basically the supreme court don't listen high courts. That means one person basically asks the question, and high courts and supreme courts basically all are basically connected with political group basically, because each and every departments are connected here. So political group basically also know that text box basically was not tested, because it was not tested, that everybody knows. So this all group basically, the all people basically of the legal departments, they know that basically this was not tested, that everybody knows. Text box equal to 1000 city was not tested. Even Supreme Court, High Courts basically were sitting at the Delhi, Gandhinagar Parliament House, that is the Delhi Parliament House and the Gandhinagar Parliament House. They also know. That means the Chief Minister who is currently, that is Bhupender Patel, and Narendra Damodar Modi, Prime Minister of India, he also basically 100%. Now also basically he might be knowing this. By mistake basically somebody watched this video of the Indian government departments. So he is basically going to get the information that this was not tested, and this basically group know everything basically. Then also basically they have told anything. Why? Because they say that basically let satellite group die, let space center group die basically. That they have decided basically, that it was in their mind basically. Otherwise basically why they have not taken the action basically. Here basically the Indian government will say that basically हमने तो भाई USA को दिया हुआ है, we have given everything to USA, so they basically know the things basically. And if you ask American government will say that basically we are not paying money to the Indian government, so 5 lakh crore basically is a small amount basically, why literally basically we are paying like that only basically, because American governments are also right, because they also have some doubt that something basically is problem. That's why basically they are giving for one software basically, who will give $100 crore to Infosys, TCS group basically, and TCS group basically have many small software companies basically. That is also correct, na basically, who will give $100 crore basically for one software basically? Nobody is going to give that basically. So they also have some doubt. At least basically Indian group basically can track this, but they also basically not tracked it. They basically just taken the money of American government basically. Literally basically America came into picture basically, because whole world's software is basically handled by USA basically. So one group basically can't do anything basically. Means everything basically one person can't do. So here basically Indian governments, Indian legal department, that is the Supreme Court, High Courts, are also responsible here. That also very badly basically. Because due to this basically lots of blood cells are also created. And here the main thing is the power supply from the satellites of the satellite companies basically are passed to the space center also basically, which basically was not tested basically. So one person might have thought that basically let space center test this, and let space center basically end. That also basically might have mind in the Supreme Court, High Courts basically, and at the Parliament group basically, which they are sitting still in the Parliament House basically. So next video basically we are going to see a little bit more about this topic.